Good morning from the Babel Boys podcast. How you doing
Hello.
today, James?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So we got some breaking news that came out yesterday. It was a very conveniently leaked body cam footage for the George Floyd incident. Which, if you haven't heard about the George Floyd incident, you've been living under a rock.
Or in Joe Biden's basement.
Or in Joe
One or
Biden's
the other.
basement. Speaking of Joe Biden, that's another thing we'll cover today. Why don't people want Joe Biden to debate? I feel like
Good
that's
question.
an important debate. You know, that's the president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, arguably.
I agree.
Don't want to debate. It's a little bit of an issue. And then we've had civil unrest going on for a little over about 65 days now, and we got some strange demands coming out from some local Black Lives Matter activists and even some teachers out of the state of California. It's definitely an evolving movement and
Sure.
demands. But this George Floyd case that was just leaked, let's go ahead and share that just in case you haven't had a chance to take a look at that yet.
This is it, huh?
This is it.
Let me see.
Start from the beginning. All right. Contains graphic images, as we all seen.
Let me see your hands.
Damn, man.
Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand.
I'm sorry.
Let me see your other hand.
Please,
Both hands.
do nothing.
Put your
Oh,
hands up
already
right
got a gun out.
Let me see your other hand.
What we do?
Put your hand up there. Put your hand up there. Hands on the wheel. Keep your hands on the wheel.
I'm sorry, brother.
Who else is in the car?
This is my
Put your
friend.
foot back in.
I'm so sorry.
So he's clearly scared.
Dang, man.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I'd be scared if I had a gun pointed at me too.
Okay, well, when I say let me see your hands, you put your hands up.
I'm so sorry, brother.
You got them?
Man, dang, man.
Put your hands on top of your head.
Last time I got shot like that, I was
Hands on top of your head. Hands on top of your head. Step out of the vehicle and step away from me, all right? Step out and face away. Step out and face away.
Please don't shoot me. Please, man.
I'm not going to shoot you. Step out and face away.
I'm gonna get out of here, man. Please don't shoot me, man. Please, man. I just lost my mom, man.
Step out and face away.
So he just lost his mom, but there was also some reports, that he was also high on drugs. Do you think that this could be a radical behavior from that, or do you think it's just because he's scared he has a gun pointed at him?
Well, yeah. I mean, the coroner's report came back that he had multiple drugs in his system, but I mean, he's clearly very scared, and I, can't say that I wouldn't be scared with a gun on my face. But if there was a gun on my face, I mean, I would probably listen to what the officer was saying to ensure that I was not shot.
And if I was on drugs, I'd probably be extra scared. I mean, obviously, depending on the drugs, but it's also important. I mean, the coroner's report said he had drugs in his system, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he was high on drugs at this moment either.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Step out and face away.
Please don't shoot me, Mr. Officer. Please don't shoot me, man.
Step out and face away.
You're not shooting me, man.
I'm not shooting you. Step out and face away.
Okay. Please, man. Please. I didn't know, man.
Get out of the car.
I didn't know, Mr. Officer. I didn't know.
Right now.
We hear somebody saying, "Stop resisting."
Stop moving. Put your hand behind your back then. I'm not going to do nothing. Face in the door.
Get his other home.
Hey, you come back. Stay in the car. Stop resisting, man. I'm sorry. Yes, you are.
Do you see any clear signs of resisting arrest so far? Because we hear it a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's obviously trying to not go to jail.
I mean, he's a very large man. Maybe they could have twisted just his strength with resisting. I'm not sure, but we hear it a lot.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Against the wall.
Me?
Yes.
What I doing?
We're figuring out what's going on. Drop the bag.
Figure out what's going on.
Adam,
What's the problem?
Said something to him. It ain't us.
we was in the ride,
I
sir.
just got my phone fixed. It's my,
You can ask
it's my ex-man.
Adam know me.
That's my ex.
Are you good?
He keeps telling me, get my car.
That's it, man.
Well, they
You
make
can
sure
ask
Floyd
Mr.
is
Adam.
like,
Sir, Floyd is there. You can ask Mr. Adam about me.
You have ID?
I'm on 38 years old.
Man.
320 or 44.
You can ask Mr. Adam about me, sir. I just came to buy the tablet, and when I bought the tablet, it didn't. He didn't
Oh
work.
my
whatever.
God. He didn't even do nothing.
Here you go, sir.
You have ID?
No, I don't. My
You got
name's
anything with your
Shawan
name on
Renee
it?
Hill. No.
Sir.
Okay.
I just came over to get my phone to see I don't have a purse or nothing.
Mr. Adam
And my
knows
daughter
me,
is on her
man.
way to get me.
What's the deal?
I don't
Mr. Adam
know.
knows me, sir.
That's my ex. I don't know.
Why is he getting all squirrely and not showing us his keys and just being all weird like that?
Because he's been shot before. He don't
Well, I
wanna-
get that, but still, when officers say get out of the car, is
going
he
on.
drunk? Is he on something?
Oh, he got a thing going on. I'm telling you
What
about
does
the
that mean?
police. We have problems all the time when they come, especially when that man took that gun like that. It's been one.
So George Floyd's been shot. The lady here, I don't want to butcher her name. She says that he's been shot and he does have some mental issues, especially when there's a gun being pointed at you. But I don't think that that's irrational. I think many people would act that way if there's a gun pointed at them.
Yeah, I agree.
There's anything irrational.
What's your first name?
He's pretty good, George Floyd.
What is it?
He's a good guy. George Floyd, you said. Ouchie,
What
man.
are you on something right
I'm
now?
not, no, nothing.
You acting erratic. Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yes, I was just moving earlier.
Let's go.
All right, let me calm down now. It's feeling better now.
Keep walking.
Okay, now, do me one favor, man.
No, when we get to the car, let's get to the car, man. Come on.
Dang, man. Oh, man. God, don't leave me, man. Please, man, don't leave me, man.
Here. I want to watch that car too, so you get a miss.
Stop falling down. Stay on your feet and face the car door.
You get a search on him?
Please, can I talk to you, man? I don't want to talk to you,
No.
man. Please, let me talk to you, please.
You ain't listening to nothing
I
we're
know.
saying, so we're not going to listen to nothing you're saying.
Can you watch that car? Just make sure no one goes in it.
I hear you, but you are going to face the door right now.
Listen up. Stop.
I'll do anything. I'll do anything y'all tell me to do, man. I'm not a resistor, man. I'm not. You can ask him. He know me, you
Check
know.
that side.
God, man, I'm going to do nothing like that, y'all. Why is it going on like this? Look at my wrist, Mr. Officer. I'm not that kind of guy.
The other side.
Mr. Officer, I'm not that kind of guy.
Stop.
Please. I'm not that kind of guy, Mr. Officer. Please.
Space away.
Please, man. Don't leave me by myself, man. Please. I'm just claustrophobic. That's it.
So that goes back to the original story that he didn't want to get in the police cruiser because he's claustrophobic. So he's putting up a little bit of resistance to get in there, but claustrophobic, maybe. I'm not.
Well, I
can't judge
mean, the guy's not allowing them to arrest him.
No,
Correct?
he's not.
I mean, he is resisting his arrest.
Yeah, and I mean, claustrophobic or not, you're still going to get in that police cruiser, if you're being arrested.
Yeah,
I'll go
I mean,
in the
either
car.
you're going in the police cruiser or you're going in the ambulance.
It's. I mean, I'm not saying that everything's fair, but you're going where you're going regardless, one way or the other. That's just the nature of the beast.
Anything sharp on you?
I won't do nothing to hurt y'all, Mr. Officer. No, sir. Why? Nothing. I don't have nothing. Why y'all doing me like that, Mr. Officer? Please crack it wounded for me and stuff, man. I am claustrophobic for real, Mr. Officer.
You got him?
Could you please crack it for me, please?
Yes, I'll
Remember my
crack
name.
it.
Stay
I
with me,
will.
man.
I will.
Please stay with me, man. Thank you. God, man. I didn't know I was going to do that.
He's being respectful at minimum, but I mean, obviously he is, doesn't want to get in there. But
Yeah, I mean, he's not violently resisting. He's
He's-
not attacking.
mm-mm.
He's just, pleading.
Yeah.
To not be arrested.
And I'm
I,
yeah.
unfortunately, that's not how it works.
And I'm sure that police officers deal with people pleading to not be
Oh,
arrested every time.
every day, I'm sure.
Every day, every time. I mean, so it's something that they're used to, and I'm sure it's just like, come on, man, I understand.
Please, man. I just want my hands free. I don't want none of y'all, man. Nothing.
You got it inside in your pocket real quick on your shirt?
I'm listening. And I understand that people do stuff.
Alright, he's good. This guns, whatever.
Okay.
Grab a seat.
Okay.
I'll roll the windows down, okay?
Please don't take a seat. I'm going in, Mr. Officer. I'm going in. No, you're not. I gotta go in. Take a seat.
Grab a seat.
Why y'all don't believe me, Mr. Officer?
Take a seat.
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that kind of guy, man.
Take a seat.
Y'all, I'm gonna die here.
Take a
I'm gonna
seat.
die, man.
You need to take a seat right now.
And I just had COVID, man. I don't want to go back to that.
Okay, I'll roll the windows
No.
down. Hey, listen.
Dang, man.
Listen.
I'm not that kind of guy.
I'll roll the windows down
Please,
and you pull your
man.
legs in, alright? I'll
Y'all
put the air on.
stop. Look at that. Look at that.
Not even listening.
Look at it. Look at it.
We can fix it
Look.
right now while you're standing out here.
Okay, man. God, y'all do me bad, man. Man, I don't want to try to win. I don't want to try to win. I don't want to win. I'm claustrophobic. I'm claustrophobic. I got anxiety. I don't want to do nothing to
I'll
them.
roll the window down.
Man, I'm scared. When I start breathing, it's gonna go off on me, man.
Pull your legs in.
Okay.
So he's already talking about how he can't breathe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just from looking at it, I mean, he is being a little bit erratic, but I mean, there's a lot of factors. Maybe he really is claustrophobic. I mean, he did just have a gun pointed at him.
Okay, let me count to three. Let me count to three and I'm going in. Please.
Count to
Please,
three.
I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to win. I get on the ground, anything. I can't
Get in
stand
the car.
this, man. He know it.
Yes, you get in this car. We can talk.
I'm claustrophobic.
I'm hearing you, but you're not working with me.
God, I'm claustrophobic, man.
Slide your butt over here, I'm gonna pull you
Get
in.
in the car.
In the front, please.
No, you're not getting in the
I'm
car.
claustrophobic, so I was
Get in the car.
Okay, man, okay. I'm not a bad guy, man.
Get in the car.
I'm not a bad guy. Man. Please, officer. Please, sit. Please.
Take a seat.
Please, man. Please. No.
Take a seat.
I can't choke. I can't breathe, officer. Please.
Fine.
My wrist, man. My wrist, man, please. I can't take a shit, man. I can't. I'm gonna lay on the ground. I'm gonna lay on the ground.
Get in the squad.
I'm gonna lay on the ground. I'm going down. I'm going down.
Get in the squad.
I'm going down. I'm not going to breathe. I know I can't breathe.
Talk to the front. Get some more oxygen, man.
I'll take COVID, man.
That was a lot to take in right there.
Well, I mean, the real question, does that video throw holes in the original theories, the original, reasons for the protests? I mean, from that video, I mean, it doesn't diminish the fact that the guy knelt on his neck for
No.
an extended period of time, which I'm sure, from what I've read of the coroner's report, the knee on the neck was not a factor in his death.
Well, that was the state's report though. But they had a private report which said that did cause the death. So they're a little bit conflicting with each other.
And I can't see how it
didn't.
Yeah, how it wouldn't be a factor. I mean, if someone knelt on my neck for 8 minutes, I mean, you're definitely at a loss of oxygen at that point. I mean, I don't think you can refute that.
No. And I mean, and then you have to ask other questions too. All right, was he being erratic to the point where he needed to be restrained? Maybe. I mean, that's a personal opinion. But I mean, kneeling on somebody's neck, I mean, that's also I mean, that is a police procedure, especially in Minneapolis. I've read it. It says that you can apply light to moderate pressure on the neck to restrain somebody. So the question is, I mean, I don't think that it was light or moderate pressure by any means, especially for 8 minutes. It's a prolonged period of time. At what point in time does that police precinct's rules come into play with George Floyd's death?
Agreed. Yeah, and so we watched it. He wouldn't go in the back seat.
Wouldn't do it. Couldn't breathe
He
already.
wanted. He couldn't breathe. His wrist was hurt.
Yeah.
He said he broke his nose, I think, at one point.
Said he already had the COVID, which we know he did.
And he said he wanted to be put on the ground.
Yes, and he was put on
And
the ground.
that's where they put him.
All right.
Man,
I think it's hard because I mean it's very unfortunate what happened.
it is extremely unfortunate. But so, you know, not to diminish that the guy was murdered, but what should they have done? But okay, so back up to putting him in the back seat. What should they have done differently?
I mean, I guess. I mean, what are you going to tranquilize the man?
Tase him? I mean, what?
I mean, what?
I mean, I've seen videos. If you don't get in the back seat, I've seen cops beat people.
Yeah,
they will beat you repeatedly to get you in that back seat.
Well, I don't know if you remember our senior week. I was forced in the back of a paddy wagon. You know?
Yeah, you were slammed a couple times.
They 1, 2, 3 swinged me in the back of that thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, so it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have died, but what do you do? I mean, do you call for medical experts to come and tranquilize this man over? I mean, I don't know. I do know that I think that them pulling that gun on him right away was a little premature. I do believe that set a bad stage from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, if you know,
especially if a man is like they claimed he's you know being chaotic, being you know like he's on something. I feel like you would want to try to de-escalate the system, the situation from the get-go.
Yeah.
Not automatically just start flashing your piece, you know.
Yeah, and I would like to know why they walked up with a gun. Well, I guess they didn't. So in the beginning, it didn't look like he had the gun out until he walked up, and I guess saw the way George Floyd was reacting. I'm not really sure what made him draw.
Mind.
Yeah, what you know, I don't know. But yeah, as soon as that gun came out, I mean, it just all went downhill pretty quick.
It did. That's at least the way I looked at it when I was watching it. I saw that gun and I seen how things automatically started to change, and I mean that's not nothing to not be expected. Like if you put a gun on me, I'm probably going to start, you know, getting shaky, and I mean, but I'm most certainly not in a power position at that point in time, and I feel as though I am going to listen to every command you give me because I do not want to be shot dead.
Agreed.
You know, I mean that's you're no longer in the power position.
No.
You have a gun on you. So but did they know it was George Floyd when they were walking up? Because George Floyd, I paid $1 to get his criminal record. It's 11 pages long.
Oh yeah, he wasn't a saint, that's for sure.
No, and I mean but still, I mean that's not. I mean, I don't want anybody to twist my words here. That is still not an excuse to die.
No.
But I mean, this is just. I mean, that's a lot of questions on a lot of what ifs. What could have been done differently?
Well, the two standing against the wall said that they knew Adam. Adam knew them.
Yeah.
Isn't Adam the one that knelt on his neck? Adam Chauvin, I believe his name is.
Yeah. I mean, well, they also knew each other too. I mean, they worked at a nightclub together. So, I mean, I still don't think you can get premeditation out of that. But, I mean, that's the question: is did he mean to kill him? And I'm not convinced that he meant to kill him, but I guess I'm not convinced that he didn't either.
I don't think that he meant. that it
I
was
don't.
premeditated. No.
No, I mean, I don't think it was premeditated in that aspect, and that just leads me. He's not a saint. He's not. I mean,
No.
obviously, you still. I mean, all life is important still, whether you're a saint or not. I mean, unless you're a pedophile, then your life's not important. But um, so he's not a saint. He's not some martyr. For the cause. It's tragic and it happens, but that's the whole thing. Like, so they're going around and they have like a traveling memorial to George Floyd, right?
I saw that. Yeah.
But we're tearing down statues now that we find disturbing, whether it's Christopher Columbus. And, I got a whole degree in history. We can shoot the shit on history, but we'll stick to the point. Do you think that the woman that George Floyd put a gun to in her gut and robbed her at gunpoint wants to be reminded of him from a memorial? Big paintings of him?
Well, no, but George Floyd's a martyr. He supposedly died for a cause, and that cause is way more important than any of his victims.
Oh, for sure.
The victims don't matter at that point.
No.
He serves a much larger purpose, which begs the question: now that this footage has been released, do you think a jury is still going to indict the officers? Now, what if they walk? Then what happens?
If they walk now? In my personal opinion, I think that the other officers, they had been on the job for just a few days. They were still in training. I don't believe that they're responsible for this. I believe they were taking orders from the veteran officer, and I don't believe that they're at fault. Just like, in the Army, when we're in the Army, your commanding officer is the one giving you the orders, and you executing them is your job.
Indeed.
So but that's the American system question. Is he going to be able to get a fair trial?
I think they're going to have to go outside of Minneapolis.
They're gonna have to go somewhere far, because I mean, if even if it's in there and let's say the jurors say not guilty for whatever reason, do they now have to fear for their lives?
That's a good question.
So
That's
I mean, like,
question.
I'm not sure if and if he's not going to get a fair trial, that goes against all American values at that point in time.
Yeah, a politicized indictment would be set a dangerous precedent right there.
That's very, very, very dangerous. I mean, the job of the juror is to sit there, listen to all the evidence, and it has to be without reasonable doubt that he did this in whichever way they're charging him. Like premeditated, as a juror, based off of what I've seen so far, I would not indict him as a premeditated first-degree murder charge. But I mean, I'd have to see all the other evidence and the arguments from each side to be able to form an American opinion based off of how our judicial system works. Which does bring into the point that obviously we know that African Americans are disproportionately given longer sentences and such in the judicial system. I mean, that's a real real thing. Yeah. That's a fact. So I mean, we have to take in that the judicial system is not perfect as it is, but a politicized ruling that's nothing I want in my country.
No. Yeah, no, that's not good. But I mean, if you have to look at the footage with an unbiased view, you can't just. No matter what side of the spectrum you're on, I mean, you have to view it from the officer and view it from George Floyd. What could they all have done differently? And does that lead you to think that George Floyd was purposely murdered?
Right. And again, Indianapolis's police precincts, their own policies, like putting the knee on the neck.